first Descendants Steam beta has now finished, and today I want to talk about why I think this game has the potential to be an RPG great. Now hear me out, having played the beta, the game definitely has a few improvements that it needs to make, but overall I think the game is a success, and achieves a great many targets that RPG games for more committed players need in order to keep the player base engaged with the gameplay, such as its build crafting, different playstyles, and of course, the loot. The game is very quick to throw you into a fight. Right from the starting mission, you're killing minions and a boss. The game is fast paced and boasts a variety of ways to kill the enemies, with either guns, character abilities, and melees, but the mission styles are bad. Now, I'm not saying the missions in general are bad, it's just the style of missions. Missions usually consist of interact with an object, fight away the minions, or hack something, fight away the minions, or destroy something, fight away the minions. Now, I played 18 hours of the beta, and a lot of the missions seemed similar. However, I found that the combat system made up for the lack of mission variety because it was very engaging and very fast. Especially the use of character abilities in combination with the grappling wire system. It was easy to move around the fighting and use my abilities such as Ajax's stomp ability from a high height, which was very fun. Now the special missions are a little different. You've got both survival missions, where the game will put you in the game with other players and you have to survive waves of minions and mini-bosses, whilst completing a given up game objective and a game mode that is usually quite popular with RPG games. Warframe has game modes that are similar. Destiny has similar game modes as well. The other game mode is the Defend game mode, where the player must defend an important objective, again from waves of minions. Now the main endgame style game mode is the Void missions. This game mode is where players who have gotten far enough through the game to fight Colossus bosses, like the boss from the start of the game, in order to obtain high level loot. From my time playing the game, I found that the bosses were unique and had a very different fighting style. Some bosses boasted melee based attacks, whilst other bosses boasted rocket barrage attacks, and the loot I found was far higher in damage than the loot from the world missions. Now this is where the game shines the most. It's build crafting. It's very simple. Each gun has a set runes element. This being Storm, Torrent, Tide, Thunder, and Haze. Each element has a specific set of runes the player can acquire to enhance and strengthen their weapons. For example, I'm using a beam rifle that's damaging for 2,440 damage per tick of damage. The beam rifle's RPM is around 900 RPM, which means our damage is around 37,800 damage per second. The base damage of the gun is around 1800, but with runes this gives us a 27% damage increase, and this is just from an attack up rune and an elemental damage rune, so the potential damage builds are nasty. Now Descendant runes are a little different. These runes don't affect your guns, but rather the character you're playing as. For me, I was playing a tanky Ajax build, where I was running 6 runes, Last Joker, which gives me a set amount of health equal to my shield, better HP, better defense, better shield, adaptability, and acceleration. Now, on the screen it may not look that overpowered, but due to rune enhancements, which I'll speak about in just a second, I increased my overall stats to well over 100% for all of the stats. I just gotta say, this build is meta! There is so much potential for the build crafting in this game, and it's definitely where the game starts to outshine a lot of mainstream games like Warframe and The Division. Now, when playing this game, it's important to upgrade your runes, because basic runes can only get you so far through the game before your builds doesn't work anymore. So, Cillian will be the player's best friend when playing this game. This classy shit-talking NPC,
await the seat.
I hate you, is who the player needs to talk to enhance runes, dismantle runes, combine runes, change their character rune type, and increase their rune capacity. It's pretty simple. Enhancing runes increases the rune stats, but costs Quilpothium. Seriously, who designed this name? Depending on which runes you're enhancing and to what level you're enhancing the runes to. Keep in mind that the higher the level of the runes you enhance it to, the more rune capacity is needed to use the runes. And then you've got dismantling runes, which will give you the Quilpothium to enhance runes, the combining of runes, which simply combines runes you choose and forge a new rune, and then the rune socket types, which changes what rune type your character is, and the rune capacity, which uses energy activators to increase your rune capacity. The game has 10 characters that the player can unlock and level up, these being Ajax, Lepic, Viessa, Bunny, Ultimate Lepic, Jaber, Freya, Glay, Sharon, and Blair. To unlock these new characters, the players will need to get the necessary components that the NPC asks for. To get these items, the player will need to play the story of the game and play the blue flag missions that state what loot drops from the mission depending on what component you need. Each part of the map has a component that are for a specific character. So overall, the game has a lot going for it. It has a strong build craft system that the player can pretty much build however the player wants to. The missions I think need a little work as the missions are quite bland and repetitive. I'd like to see more missions with different game modes, but overall the gameplay is definitely cool. It allows the player to play to whatever playstyle they want to. The characters are unique and boast different abilities for a range of playstyles, whether you want to be an assassin or you want to be a tank. And the endgame is promising. There's a lot to do in the endgame, such as fight Colossus bosses, defend against waves of minions, and farm high-tiered loot. And I'm sure the launch of the game will bring even more endgame. That's it for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Remember to put a like on the video and subscribe. It's very much appreciated. I've been your host Ryoshi, and I'll see you soon.